welcome into another edition of the Water Tower Podcast. We're your hosts, Landry and Wes Davis out of Mexia, Texas. First things first, make sure you subscribe to YouTube, like and follow us on Facebook. Busy time of year, so we make sure we post everything on our Facebook page as well as the show on YouTube. Once again, we have Coach Travis Marvin with us, head coach of the Black Cats. First things first, man, congrats.
Thank you.
Sam.
Hell of a win, brother.
Big time wins at the Academy in Palmer. Man, got to be feeling good after those two.
Oh yeah, that's it's always a great feeling to take that next step, and it's just it feels really good just everybody working together to all just achieve this goal, because I mean it took every one of us, that, from the kids on the bench to our managers to our assistant coaches to the cheerleaders to the fans, everybody. I mean that's what it takes to go on a run like this.
Right.
So yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah. Man, so we'll get into both playoff games. We got a lot to cover. Wes, kind of tell us what we got
this show. Week we got coming up on Tuesday, we got softball at Itasca. We got soccer versus Robinson boys and girls at home. Baseball versus Axtell. And then we, of course, will be in Huntsville for the Running Cats versus the Hitchcock Bulldogs. Thursday, we got track at Centerville. Also, the Black Cat Classic will be starting up. If you know anything about that, the weather will be bad Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
The forecast shows 70s, Sundays, but we all know by the time everything rolls around, it's going to end up raining.
And then hopefully, we got soccer at Conley boys and girls. And then hopefully Friday we'll be somewhere either playing on Alaska or Franklin. I was doing my own little geographical location of that. I would figure Franklin may be in Waco, on Alaska maybe in Madisonville, somewhere out in there.
Possibly, yeah.
Not to get ahead of ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. But and then Saturday, of course, we got the Black Cat Classic, and then shout out to Lando and them, regional powerlifting in Dublin. So go get some hardware.
Yeah, 8 girls going.
Let's go,
Saturday.
baby.
Real early. That's Saturday morning.
Hey, it's late night Friday night, hopefully, and early morning Saturday.
I'm okay with that.
Hey, as long as we're getting dubs.
Yep,
so,
that's right.
That's what we got coming up this week, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. So, like I said to start the show, man, we had 2 big wins to start off the playoffs in the Biges round and the area round. Black Cats took on Academy in the Biges round of the playoffs, winning 68-50. Collins led all scores with 17. Billy Hicks and Alfie Ferris had 15 apiece. Bedford with 8 and Blewett with 7. So I know Tuesday probably feels an eternity in the past.
like it was last year.
Yeah. You don't celebrate it too long. You enjoy it that night, and in the playoffs, it's next morning. You got to be ready to roll on to the next round. So, but yeah, it does seem like quite a while ago already.
So, I mean, just looking at that game, you start off fast. I think it was a 14-0 run to start. Obviously you want to start fast, but each game. But do you think after starting fast like that, just kind of set the tone throughout that game, and then boosting you into the second round?
Yeah. I think. The good thing about that fast start was, honestly, I really believe with that start when it's 14-0, the game was over, and in a bad way, that I think the kids realized that too, so we kind of coasted through. And kind of, we never really, we won by 18?
Yeah.
So, it's a 4-point difference the rest of the way. But I would prefer to have a fast start like that than to have to battle back and have a great ending.
My anxiety and nerves. I agree with you.
Because, and no disrespect to Academy, but when we jumped out on them, even when they were fighting back and they'd get it to 8 and 10, I never really felt like they could make that run to make it a game. Because every time they got a little closer, we just stretched out a little bit,
It was about like I expected.
Yeah.
It was, the start was great. Then, they had little Larry Bird Jr. come in, and he was on fire. But it was the game I expected. We knew we were the better team. Were we going to play like it all game? No. But and I talked to Keithan, and we've talked, and we knew where our mind was. Like, we had to play that first game against Academy, and you don't overlook anybody. Of course, we found that out in football, but you know who you got coming up next. So it's hard, it's hard to say you weren't looking ahead. I know I was as a fan. I know you as a coach, you have to be more locked in. But I think everybody in my head, it's not you and Davis, Simpson. We're all we're ready for Palmer.
And there's truth to that even with us. I mean, it's just human nature.
Right.
Like we know from the work we put in, the film study, all the scouting on them, we know without a doubt we are the better team.
Right.
And it's sometimes you're just so much better that you're going to win even if you don't play your best. I thought at times we really played our best, but that 14-0 run, that was probably the best defense we'd played all year. And then after that, it was game over. So.
Yeah.
I mean, which credit them, because we talked, like Coach Holt does a really good job over there at Academy. I think he got his guys to, not say play at the best of their ability the rest of the way, but probably was.
They could have easily just shut it down, and they didn't. They fought back, and it also it helps your confidence hitting some threes. Yeah. So when you start hitting a few threes,
he's seen a couple fall. The little guard could shoot it a little bit too, but 10 came in and he was.
That's that's what they do. They shoot the three.
Yeah.
And the games during district that they got blew out they didn't shoot well.
Yeah.
The games that they played, like when they played Franklin well, they shot the three well.
Yeah. Live and die by it.
Yep. Which I think it kind of helped. Like we talked a lot that they're very comparative to a Buffalo or a Tig, where they might talent wise not be there, but like when they're on, they can scare you a little bit.
Three's more too, and if you're hitting them at a successful rate like they were, it'll close that gap quickly. So, but like I said, we pulled off late. We did exactly. That game was exactly what I thought it would be. I was the start was amazing though. Like you said, if we could start like that every game, that'd be great. We were on fire. Did they even get across half court? But maybe twice.
I think twice in that 14-0
run. And 2 times it was actual 10-second calls.
Yeah.
It was not them throwing it away. It was
They could not get past half court.
Yeah, and you get our crowd into it early like that too, man. It's tough on you because these first 2 games we brought a really nice crowd, and once they get rocking or we get rocking, it's hard out there too, and it gets loud. So, a credit to y'all coming out at fast pace and getting that going.
Yeah. So again, big win against Academy to start this playoff run, which set up the game we were seemingly waiting on for an entire year.
Yeah.
We were.
I think everybody's
been on my mind since we lost that game last year.
Everybody knew that, like me and DeLeo walking into the gym, we knew as soon as we lost that game last year, we were going to see them again this year. And that's what happened. Number 6 Black Cats took on number 11 Palmer Friday night. A huge win, winning 48-40, just in a defensive slugfest. Billy Hicks led all scorers with 19.
Billy Mother Hicks, baby.
Bedford with 12. Collins and Ferris each with 6. Blewett with 3, and Johnson rounded out with 2 points. Man, what a game! What a win!
Monkey off the back.
Yeah. It's like you said. It's exactly what we thought that game would be.
Yeah.
Like they're too good. They've done the same thing we did. Prepared by playing, top level competition. They went to the Whataburger. They did everything they had to do to prepare for this game because they knew the same thing. They knew that it's going to be us and them again. And I knew it was going to be a knockdown drag out. I knew it wasn't going to be pretty. It was going to be whoever was the toughest team was going to come out. Because there's not a lot of difference in us really. Like the style we play is different.
Yeah.
But as far as the competitiveness and the toughness and and the talent, there's not a whole lot of difference. So it's just one of those games that. But that's playoff basketball. Like,
it was.
Nobody wants to go home, and you're gonna get their best shot no matter what. Like they're gonna play. They gave everything they had because they didn't want that to be the end.
Yeah, they did, and I think, just looking at both crowds, it would have been the perfect time to commit crimes in both towns because nobody was home. But if you compare it to a boxing match, we both limped out of that gym that night, and black eyes, swollen faces. It was back and forth, and the one thing that I could say we've been able to do this year, we find a way. I don't know. Like I said at halftime, I wasn't worried about us winning. I was worried where was it going to come from. And boy, Billy Hicks had the loudest 19 points I think I've ever witnessed in a basketball game.
It was that dog in him.
He had that dog in him, baby.
That's what he said.
Yeah, but I mean, he's done that for a long time, and he's had some injuries, and he played on JV last year, and I think it helped him a lot because I don't know the amount of minutes, and we kind of talked about that with Keithan and him as well. Like, do you put them on varsity? Can they play varsity? Yeah, but are you going to play them for 7 minutes, 5 minutes?
Right.
Or are you going to let them play the whole game on JV and get those reps? And I think it's really helped him a lot this year, And people don't see that the bigger picture when it's happening, but it's helped him a long way this year.
And when that's one thing, like everybody wants instant success.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to take a step back and you got to try to build something because even though we all want instant success, like we want to win now.
Yeah.
If we can build those kids, then we can have a team that's got a chance to go every year.
Right.
But if you don't, if I had to put Billy on varsity last year and he didn't get any minutes and his mentality may have been different. He wouldn't have had as much time on the floor and who knows if he would have been as good as he is this year.
I think it's a chip on his shoulder too. Like I got to show you. Like I should have been up here last year, and he's really, and it seems like when we're not on our best or someone that we need someone, it's him. It's the Westwood game. It was the same.
He is our X factor without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what makes our team so tough. Really, is we get that European starts. Like, it can be any different guy any night. Like, last year, kind of the difference was you say, well, it's going to be Kale or Hunter.
Yeah.
And kind of really just defend them. And we never had any really, really big nights out of the other guys. Now, Lamotter had a few here or there, but now, like, I mean, we have big games by different guys every night.
The Central Heights game, it was Tay.
Yeah.
Like, Tay had he had a good night that night.
That makes it hard for other teams to guard us. Because, like, now it's like, well, who are we going to – I mean, we can't just – put our worst defender on this guy and hope he doesn't do anything. Yeah, even though that's what they have to
five.
do.
Yeah, that's starting five. Yeah. There's going to be a weakness somewhere. Like, you better have 5 guys that can go because our 5 can go.
And the thing is, too, like, and then we bring our next 2, Kedrick and Keithan. They may not score as much as that first group, but they defend like crazy when they get in there.
What them two do well, the scoring is a bonus.
Yes.
But what them two do well is not on the stat sheet mostly. And they might not record, like, they're going to record a couple steals, but just the harassing, the Keithan, his physicality and making you feel uncomfortable. And 3, me and him talked. 3 did a really good job on that third foul. He got him, his footwork, and he got Keithan into that foul. But and then with Kedrick's in your dribbling lane. Mm-hmm. Like you
can't escape it.
Yeah, he's So what they brought in has been really big, and not to get ahead of ourselves, the minutes they're playing in the big games will boost them into next season.
Oh, yeah,
because
without a doubt.
Them are going to be your 2 best returning players behind Kill. So, them getting the minutes and playing in the big games and not shying away from it. Like you said, you put Kedrick in the second half of a game, we're down to a team we've already lost to, and people are, the worry setting in, and you've seen it on a couple of our kids' faces, like they're unsure. And, dude, he comes in and bang, the game changed. Mm-hmm. It was just a spark that we needed. And, that doesn't go on the stat sheet, but it changed the game. It really did, and that's big moving forward. And y'all have the confidence in them, and we've said it before that those seniors have the confidence in them to know when they're on the floor, hey, they're going to do their job. We don't have really nothing to worry about.
And that's the thing too that I always try to look at it like, I don't care what grade you're in. Like, I want to put our best players on the floor. Don't matter. You're all in high school. Shoot, if you're one of our best, don't matter what grade you're in.
Right. That's the mindset you got to have.
Yeah.
Especially at the small school level. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have the
I
luxury
think some coaches get in trouble because, they keep so many seniors and they feel like they have to play these seniors or they have to keep them up while they have a kid that's better than one of them on the JV.
Right.
Why would you do that? You have to put your best group on the floor.
I think my sophomore year, Ken should have been the freshman point guard on that team. Mm-hmm. But the head coach at the time was, I don't play freshmen.
Well, yeah.
And he went down there and lost to Coons and had a team that should have won a state championship.
Yeah.
But go down to the regional tournament and lost to Coons because you don't have a true point guard.
Right.
And there might be some guys that disagree. I mean, and it's my opinion.
You're right.
But if you ask some of those guys, they'll tell you, hey, Ken should have been on varsity is the point guard. And that dude there, he's a little taller than Kedrick and a little thicker, but he didn't have much height.
No.
But he played 6 foot. So you're right. Your best got to play. And I'm one of those, and I was a victim. I ain't gonna say a victim because I didn't work hard enough. But if you have a senior and you have an underclassman, and they're about the same, you play the underclassman.
No, yeah.
Because you got more time with him.
That's right.
So, I mean, man, Kedrick has really been big for us.
And that's what happened with him is like we knew at some point he'd be on the varsity this year, but then we got you know what? Why are we messing around? Let's just get it done right now. Let's go.
It was a game or two? It was quick.
It was game 3 when we brought him up.
Yeah.
His first game was against Palmer. Yeah.
Palmer was his first one.
Yep.
But a game to bring him in.
Yeah.
A great defensive team that's going to get physical.
Right.
And he's took some lumps, but, man, he does not shy away from it.
Yeah.
He never has. So, man, it's just – I want to ask you this. This was going to be one of my questions. Of course, last week I was out with the bubbles. But how big is the Little Dribblers program to once they get to you, the success they have and the coaching they get? Because I view that as we've been doing this a long time at such a young age. Like Kedrick, he's a freshman on varsity. Well, he was a 7-year-old playing 9 and 10-year-old basketball and all-stars, and he's been doing it forever. How big does that play a part in now to you as far as the success he's having and some of them younger guys? And then also, I mean, just the whole team in general, like our Little Dribblers program, what do you think that means to these kids as they come up?
Oh, I'm telling you, like if you'll go and look at all these teams that are still playing, most of them probably have a good, solid youth program, either within their town or their kids have an opportunity to play a lot. If you don't, because those schools that don't have that, they can't sustain success because basketball is a sport. You got to start when you're young.
Right.
It's so skill based that if you're not getting those skills when you're young, it's hard to jump out there as a 7th grader and be a great ball handler if you haven't been doing it. So I mean, without the Little Dribblers program, we wouldn't be nearly what we are.
Right.
And I think the town takes a lot of pride in it. That's a good thing too. It's really important to them, and because of that, it really helps out the high school program. And I think that's, I've heard Buggy say it before, like they are there to make us better.
Right.
That's what they want to do.
Yeah. And
so I mean, really, like I said, it takes the whole town to be good in high school athletics. It takes the entire town, and those entire, 16, 17 years of that kid growing up, to get them to where they need to be and have a chance to compete at a high level.
I got you.
I mean, I think it shows, looking at Mexia basketball history, we're consistently just a good overall program, like we're historically good program, but we're consistently good in our youth program, with Little Dribblers. You look at football, I mean, we have up and down years, but also how many years have we not had a youth football program? How many years have we had? We were
talking about that this weekend at the Little Dribbler Gym. That 7th grade group and 8th grade group were playing in their basketball championship. We were talking about football. Well, the 7th grade team and the 8th grade team, those are those groups that there was that gap from when I ran football to when they started it back. And you see it like they just didn't have enough football and they're just now learning. Yeah. Whereas you're going to see now that they brought it back, those younger groups, when they get to 7th grade, you're going to see more skill and all that. And there's a lot of talent. The issue is just getting it caught up to the other towns. It's like I watched them play 3 or 4 times this year against towns that had youth football, and you see it, But going back to Little Dribblers, You go look on the wall in the little dribbler gym. Look at the names on the banners, and then go look at the names that's on the back of these playoff shirts. Same names.
Yeah.
So I mean that's why I wanted to get ask you about the little dribble program as far as the kids that's playing and all that and the success they have and that mindset, because we do start at a young age here, and there is a lot of quality coaches that coach these kids and put a lot of time in, and then we've talked about Rick and all that, but yeah, I want to hear Levin Barker from Hay volleyball coach at Tatum speaks so highly of our little dribblers program, and that's one of those things I think every town needs. You need that start at that young age, like you said, for that development, because you start too late and it's too late.
Well, I think one thing that's good about little dribblers is it's age based.
Yeah.
So you can still have your 7th graders playing.
Yeah.
And the way the season is staggered, it just gets them that many more games too. So
yeah.
They've had their season, but they're also still playing another season.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah. And it's not AAU. It's with the guys you're going to be playing.
And that's
with.
really important too. Like I push our kids to all play AAU if they can.
Yeah.
But also we want to play as much together as possible,
right.
Because you got to know each other on the floor. Like the more chemistry you have on the floor with each other, that's so important. Like I think when Gainesville won state, when I was up there, the one thing I thought that really made that happen was obviously we had a youth program too.
Right.
But every day at the boys club, every one of those dudes that was on that varsity together were there together.
Right.
So they knew each other in and out. They just knew how they played the game. They knew where they was going to be on the floor. And I think that's what's happened kind of with this team, even though these guys have not, Trees new, Billy wasn't with us last year, even though it's kind of new pieces.
Yeah.
They've all still played together at some point, but they've really played well together.
Yeah. And Tree's one of those, and we can't, we can't speak enough about that guy. Just his mindset and the style he plays, you could plug him in probably anywhere in the state, and he's going to be an instant success and have an instant impact on that team. He's been huge. I said, man, if we'd had him last year, we'd go to state easily.
He's so tough.
Yeah, he
mentally
nothing
and
rattles
physically.
He's plays.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's he's a good piece to have, and we keep him out of foul trouble. So knock on wood.
Yeah. I mean, just speaking, going back to our starting five and how teams defend us. We're so versatile at every spot that we can beat you in so many different ways. I mean, you got Tree that can beat you down low. Billy has proven now he can beat you down low. Well, on perimeter.
If you look at, I think we hit 4 threes in the Palmer game. All 4 threes were our post guys.
Yeah.
Billy hit 3.
Yeah.
Tree hit 1. Our guards didn't make any. But with our offense, the way our offense works, if we got a big that can shoot, it's real dangerous.
Well, it's like you said, too.
If we got Tree down low, Billy's going to be up top.
Yeah.
So, it gives them opportunities to hit if they can shoot, that's what makes it so hard to guard Billy, because he's inside, outside, he can score either place.
Yeah.
I mean, even KB, he can beat you on the perimeter, but also he has some post moves that he can beat you down low as well. I mean, I think it's all 5 from top to bottom. I mean, so versatile in what they can do.
The one thing we haven't had this year, and Tuesday night would be a great night to have it, everybody's shooting well at the same time. The whole team.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Hey, I'm going to pray for that one. But, going back to the Palmer game, how many teams win a ball game shooting 35% from the free throw line?
Well, not many. But I'll tell you this, we won because they probably shot about 34% for the game from the field.
Yeah.
And we shot about 43, I think.
I mean,
that we just defended.
Yeah.
We defended them. So
that's what when it goes back, I say we always find a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like this year, that's why I've been so positive about this team and the run we can make, because we find a way to win games. I knew the Canyon Rendell game. That was it for me. It was a loss, and I'm not a moral victory guy. But leaving out of that gym, I didn't need to see enough. Now, of course, the Hemshire from that game was kind of a letdown, but it was an early morning wash game. The Joshua game, I thought we kind of dead leg, early afternoon game. Whatever. But that and we could have laid it down in the Canyon Rendell game.
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't, man. We kept battling and kept battling, and a couple free throws fall here, layup here, and their dudes made plays too. They're the number 2 team in 4A for a reason. But I knew that game. I was like, when we play like this, we are the best team in 3A. So I mean, and you've seen it in Tatum. We could have laid it down.
Yeah.
And on their court, number 2 team in 3A, and we battled back and should have won that game. So I mean, we're just this year, man. It's different to me, man.
Yeah.
Like it feels, it's feeling like how those runs used to feel.
Well, that's just a toughness amongst those kids,
Yeah.
And I think it comes from everybody. Like, we preach being tough. We preach defending.
Yeah.
The offense will be there. As long as we get out and run at our tempo. But our tempo starts with how well we defend.
Yeah.
If we defend well, our tempo is easy. It's easy to control that tempo. So
I got you.
But yeah, I mean they're just tough kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely proved it Friday because we talked. I think DeLeo asked you the question. Going in the half, you're down 24-17, and you told them, "Hey, they're dictating the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're not. Like, if y'all want to go home, then."
And I mean
keep playing like that, but then if you want to keep playing, you got to dictate the game to them. Which I think that.
And whoever controls the game is the tougher team,
Right.
I mean, because it's a battle of wills out there, and they were tougher than us in the first half because they made the game the way they wanted it, and I mean, we just let them know how it had to be. Like, are you ready for this to be the end? If you're not, then you need to go out there and take control of this game.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with, game plan was great. Everything's set up fine. Like, you just have to make that decision that I'm not going to let that guy across from me control me.
Right.
I'm going to control him. So, and that's what they did.
Just about being better than the person in front of you.
That's right. And having some pride and stopping the guy that you're on.
Yeah.
Like you got to build, at some point, you got to have enough pride. Like, I'm not letting that guy score on me. That guy is not scoring on me.
That's like, Keitha came home after the academy win. All he talked about was guarding 3.
Yeah.
And thinking about it now, I didn't even think about it at the time. I think he was so amped up to guard 3 is why he picked up 3 quick fouls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like his mindset was, this dude is not going to have this night on me. And it ended up kind of biting him because he got the 3 quick fouls.
And that's okay because that's growth.
Yeah.
Like, he's a sophomore. This is his first real big game.
Yeah.
So he just had a chance to really grow right there.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we want. I mean, you can't simulate that next year.
Yeah.
He has to go through this. Now when he plays that guy that he's really amped up to guard, now he knows how to approach it a little different.
And he was, and sorry to talk about Keithan a lot tonight, but he was so amped up about this game, or I was so amped up about the game, and I'm talking to him, how do you feel and all that, and he's like, Dad, it's just another game. And I said, son, this ain't the game you played in. There's going to be their whole town's going to be across from us. Our whole town's going to be here. This is going to be the loudest game outside of Westwood that you played in. But this one is a win or go home. This is the biggest game you played in. And he kind of looked at me and I was like, so, just so you know.
And each one's going to get bigger.
Yeah, like Tuesday night is going to be even bigger.
And the reason he probably said that is I tell the kids all the time.
Yeah.
This game ain't any different than the last game we played. In the fact that it's a basketball game. It's you got to stop your guy. Don't go out there and put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Because there really shouldn't be any more pressure. You go perform the way you should, you execute, and you defend the way you should, you run the offense the way you should, you give the effort you should, then that team's not better than you. And you're going to come out on top.
That's what I felt like in the first quarter. They just kind of felt like they were playing tight. Like they weren't loose. They were just kind of, weren't so sure.
I mean, I really do. I believe that they were, Palmer's was in our head a little bit.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been, but, just from what's happened in the past, there's a little bit of doubt, and they had to go through that, to be able to beat them. They had to go through that point, and they had to see that if I don't change the way I'm approaching this, that I'm not going to be able to beat them.
Yeah. No, it was our second quarters have been kind of the last few games. But again, it goes back to this team just finds a way. Mm-hmm. You don't know who it's going to come from because, like you said, it could be any one of the 5. And then it could be one of the two bringing a spark off the bench. Because every game, either Key or Key, they bring something to the game every game, whether it's Kedrick or Keithan. Every game since district, when you put one or the other in, they come in and change the game a little bit. And that's been big. And then, like I said, Billy Hicks did his thing, man. So
Yeah.
that was like I said, it was the monkey off everybody's back. That was the only game that I was worried about, that because I knew the game flow, what they wanted to do. They want to muddy it up, they want to slow it down, and they're real disciplined. Anybody wants to get out and run with us, I'm confident in that. Like, all right, let's go. Track meet, baby.
Yeah.
That's why we're called the running cats for a reason. We're here to run your ass out of the gym. So if you want to run, let's run.
Yep.
But they, and I watched last year's game online. I wasn't there, and I'm probably glad I wasn't, but I probably got exited out of there as bad as them refs were. And, but, we found a way, and we're moving on.
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing.
Yep.
Speaking of that, I know it's changed the format. You as a head coach, is this the furthest game you've been?
As a head coach, yes.
Yes. I know you've been. Yeah, I know you've been.
As an assistant, I've been to the regional finals.
Yeah.
Game away from state. But as a head coach, yes, this is the furthest I've been.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's big. Because you weren't here my junior year, right? You were here my senior year. Or were you here my junior year too? Went to the regional tournament and lost to Silsby.
I was here. I didn't come to your senior year.
Yeah,
that was Penson's second year when I got here. Yes.
And you go back to these seniors. You were talking about. You want this to end. The underclassmen kind of had. I had it, and I can't speak for the underclassmen that I played with, but my junior year, we're ranked 5. We go down there and lose, and we're all kind of like, the seniors are crying, and I get it. We're all like, we'll be back next year.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, every underclassman on that team never won a first-round game after that. We lost the next year in the first round to Conley. I want to say Ken them either got a bye or lost. They lost their first playoff game.
It was a bye, but so it's technically a second-round game, but lost that second.
So and then Brian High and them lost in the first round.
Yeah.
So that we can come back and do it again. Mindset. The time is now.
Yeah. Right.
To go get your name on a banner is now. So hopefully those guys have that mindset that hey, we're finna go do this, and I think they do. Just talking to them. Yeah. So.
Yep. So, and it was heck of a game, just by you and your staff as well as the players. That sets up.
MVP of the game. Listen, inserting Kedrick in when he did change the flow of the game.
Yes.
And then the timeout. Carl Beecham posted this, and I didn't even think. I knew it was a good timeout, but I didn't think about the impact it had because it would have been their ball. But Carl Beecham said that was the play of the game.
Oh yeah,
when he called the timeout before the jump ball.
Yep.
And I think we got a bucket off that timeout.
Yeah, I believe so.
So that was man, that's good coaching right there, man.
Well, I got to give credit to Davis too for Kedrick because he told me, hey, we need to get him in.
Yeah.
I said, get him in. Let's go.
Before we move on, how big has Davis been this year to your staff? Give him his flowers.
He's assistant coach of the year, in my opinion, in 3A. The whole entire
Yeah.
He's. I couldn't ask for any better.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that, he has impressed me so much.
Yeah.
He, I started out the year, I'm going to give you this. We started, and, I just keep piling it on him now. Because he's capable of it.
Yeah.
He makes it. I gave him, he makes the rotations. He'll sub kids in and out. I mean, obviously, if I don't want it to do, we won't.
Because that's something you could get lost in as far as getting kids in and stuff,
so
right?
I trust him to make all the subs, any sub he wants to make. Which, we spend a lot of time together doing this.
Right.
But, I just feel like me and him are in tune. We talked about, we always talk, last night, who do we got on matchups with Hitchcock? And we sent text and they're the same thing. We're just really in tune there. But I trust him to do. I trust him just as if it's my decision. If you want to change the defense, change it. I'm not questioning. He's good.
Yeah.
He's really good. And it makes everybody else better because now we actually this year and I love Coach Davis was here before, but he was a football coach,
Yeah.
and he helped where he could. But like we have a true staff now,
Yeah.
and we can divvy up the responsibilities, and people can focus on certain areas now, and because of that, now our team is better too.
Yeah.
So like, we wouldn't be where we're at if I didn't get two good assistants.
And you bring in, you mentioned Simp. Simp's going to jump right in there and do whatever you ask.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And he's a guy that he's one of those guys that's on your coaching staff that you don't realize how good he is until he leaves.
Yeah.
But he's been big. But I think the biggest thing about Fat Rat, Coach Davis, is he's a younger Mexia Black Cat. Like he's been here, he's been in the program.
It means a lot to
and
him.
I think there's also a factor of he can dig deeper in and reach a kid just a little more than you can.
Oh, yeah.
Being in that he is younger and knows all these kids that he's seen them grow up. They watched him play.
Yeah.
And they're he can just bring that a little extra that might be in there out.
Yeah.
Or like you said, he can control when they get out of line a little bit. When a call don't go their way or the shot's not falling and all that. I think it was a tremendous hire, man, and it's been a big help.
Yeah, and I mean it was one of those deals too. He was originally coming in to be a junior high coach, and
It's like
I was looking for one at that time, and I talked with him, and just some of the things he did, I told now there's no way he's staying at junior high.
Right.
He's with us. And like you said, I'm getting to where I'm kind of old now. So
you got a little gray there, man.
He's he ain't much older than those guys. So like you said, they've looked up to him. He understands the young guy a little bit better than us old guys. Or I can't say us. Y'all ain't old yet either.
I'm kidding. I don't know.
But I think it's really important because he is younger, so he understands some of the stuff they're going through, and he also being from town. Like now they really trust him. So
and you see it. You can see it.
Oh yeah. So he's been. I can't say enough good things about him.
He was coaching his butt off Friday night. The ref was like, "Hey, he's got to sit down."
Sit down.
He was coaching his butt off, man. You could see it. Like
he's like, I'm just trying to call the defense.
That's a good hire, man. That two good hires I think Mexia made this year was Case and then Fat Rat. I think that's been big. So,
and I'll tell you that timeout I always talk about, and you got to have a little luck on your side too.
Always.
To me, that was a little bit lucky because I just happened to be right behind him, and I was right in his ear when it was going on.
Yeah.
There's so many times you try to get a timeout and they're far away from you, can't hear you, and you're just I was calling it, and they're like,
Because how many times did you get a timeout on the first, unless it's just a made shot or something, and you're,
Yeah.
And those situations, how many times do they even hear you on the first timeout?
Oh man, I'm telling you, yeah. So, but I was right there, and I didn't even have to yell.
Perfect time.
I mean, it was just like I said, that was that little bit of luck we needed there.
You said it was quick too. You hit it quick. Like, No, that's
That
just
whole Palmer side erupted.
destiny, man. I'm telling you, man, we just find a way. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
That never happens in my head. It's like that kind of stuff never goes our way, and it's going our way this year.
We just got to keep it going.
Put the work in. Put the work in, and
that's right.
Have a little lady luck on our side, man.
Yep.
We need her with the 3-ball this Tuesday night. We need lights out.
Yep.
I'll take that. Yeah.
I'm praying for it.
So speaking of Tuesday, that brings us to the regional semifinal round against a team that I think we've all wanted to see the last couple of years. I mean, I remember 2 years ago before we lost to Randall, Hitchcock was next up. We won Hitchcock. Last year, we won Hitchcock. Now it's here. Play them Tuesday night at Huntsville High School, 7:30 p.m. tip-off. Just a little bit real quick on how both teams got here. Hitchcock 25-8 overall, 10-0 District 24 3A champions. They defeated Crockett 75-49 in the bi-district round, and then defeated number 13 East Chambers 60-45 in the area round. Of course, the Black Cats are District 23A champions with a record of 25-11 overall, defeated Academy 68-50 in the bi-district round, and defeated Palmer 48-40 in the area round. So, Coach Marlin, what are just your initial thoughts after watching Hitchcock over the weekend?
I mean, they're big and athletic. I mean, They got a post kid, number 32, that's going to play football at Nebraska, and he's not just big. Like, he can jump. Like, he's had some monster dunks during the playoffs. They got number 12, a post kid that, he was all state or all tournament team at the state tournament last year. So they're super athletic. They play with a lot of confidence, obviously, because they're one of those teams that they've won so much over the past 4 or 5 years that no matter what kid you put out there, they really believe they're going to win. So, and I mean, they haven't lost a playoff game in 2 years. So, I mean, I'd probably feel the same way. But, I think we match up with them real well. I think they'll play a style of game that we want to see, like where we can get out and run a little bit. Obviously, they play slower than we do, but, they're not going to pack the paint and try to muck it up like Palmer did. We'll have our opportunities to really run and get up and down the floor, and I think when we do that, we'll be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely at our strongest when we set our own pace. That's, I mean, like you said earlier, I mean, we're the running cats for a reason.
Right.
We're running. I mean, it's.
And I don't see any reason why they'd try to change our pace. I mean, yeah, they don't want us to get out and run, but they're not gonna, like I said, they're not gonna just slow it down.
Because I think that would affect their game play too. They're not a slow paced team. Like you said, they're not blazing, but
I think they're a little slower paced than what they have been the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Just because based off what they lost from last year, but definitely not a slow pace that you see from Palmer.
Right.
Because they don't come off as I've watched them 3 times, so they don't come off as a half court set offense type team either.
And one thing they were really good at the last couple of years was the high-low game. They'd run that kind of Kansas offense where they'd they'd take that top-down pass to the post to post pass there, but they don't really have that type of offense this year.
Yeah.
Because they lost the kid that went to Texas Tech, the quarterback, and he was kind of what made that work all the time. So they're a little bit different offensively now, and they don't have. Their guard plays not as good as it was.
Because they lost another guard that
they had a guard. I think he went to play football somewhere. Yeah.
So I mean that's
the Lloyd kid.
But we seen him at the
one that went to Tech.
Yeah, but we seen him at the TABC.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was I watched him play, and I was just like, hey, from how we played, of course we lost a kid, but I was like, that team's beatable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are definitely. I mean, I feel like we're one of the, this is just, we got a top 6 team, number 6 Mexia, number 3 Hitchcock. We're both capable of winning this game.
Yeah.
It kind of comes down to the same thing as with us, Palmer. Who's going to want it more? Who's going to make the least mistakes? Who's going to control the tempo? And that's what it's going to come down to. Like, at this point in the playoffs, everybody's really freaking good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, but I'd put my guys out there against anybody because I think our mindset's just the way it needs to be. Like, I think even though we haven't had these runs in the playoffs like Hitchcock's had, like I think our guys really believe no matter what, when we get out on that court, we're gonna beat people.
Which I think it goes back to what we talked about last week was just you setting up the schedule the way it needed to be set up is. You prepare all season for games like this, for opponents like this. So when the time comes, like you haven't seen anything different.
I wish I would have thought of this before we came, and I'd have done my research and it'd been better. Of our 11 losses, how many of those teams are probably still in the playoffs?
We actually did that the other day, right?
Yeah,
my man.
And
or just on our schedule.
One of them's out now that we played twice, but
of course. But or just on our schedule, even our wins. Like how many teams? Lorena's still in. Conley's still in.
Yeah.
Kenyon Randall's still in.
So, of our 26 different opponents, 13 made the playoffs. 13 missed. And I think...
That's including district, right?
Yeah, that's including district teams. So, I mean,
it's
I think 9 made it out of the first round out of those 13.
And only one of those was 3A team. I mean, excluding district, we only played one 3A team. The rest were 4A, 5A.
And that Anna team was just in a district. I mean, they were them dudes.
Yeah. They were big and athletic, and
But I mean, that just goes to show like the schedule that you made, man. Like we're battle tested.
Yeah, and that's tough mentally. Like you got to go through some things, especially the kids. They're having doubt, and it's like
we went on a losing streak. What did we lose? 3 of 4, 4 or 5 in a row. It was a 4 or 5. 3. It was the Whataburger, then Joshua. So we lost to Canyon Randall, and to Hemshire Fournette, then to Joshua. We looked 3 in a row for sure. And then we went on our.
I think we had another maybe 3-game losing streak.
The Fairfield tournament.
Or what? It was Lorena going into Fairfield maybe because I think we lost to Conley.
Yeah.
We lost to Alamo Heights.
Yeah.
And did we start? Who did we start?
In the Lorena tournament, you went 2-2.
Yeah.
You just one loss.
Oh, and then we started the Fairfield tournament, lost to Conley,
and then Decatur.
You beat Azle, then lost to Decatur.
Yeah.
You only had one 3-game losing streak. You had a couple back-to-back in the Fairfield and then in the Whataburger tournament.
And like I said, I mean, those teams are all really tough. Like, I mean, you gotta be ready to play every night. I mean, that's what I wanted. You want your schedule to be. If you got the kids that can handle it mentally, you want your schedule to be like a playoff game every time you step on the floor. And really, the only time you can't control that is your tournaments.
Yeah.
Now, you can control that by going to a really good tournament.
And, looking back, the Alamo Heights game was real Palmer-ish.
Yeah, the way they play, their style.
But, speaking, we're on Hitchcock. There's nothing we haven't seen that they're going to bring.
No.
I don't we've seen everything, and we've seen we've seen the best 2 teams the number 2 team in both divisions or A's 4A 3A. We've went and seen an Athletic Anna. Alamo Heights. I know they won their first round playoff game. I don't know if they won Friday. I think they're still in.
They may have
Alamo
won.
Heights. Yeah, they won.
Yeah. So I mean, we've seen everything you could see. To me, at this point, versus everybody we'll play the here on out, it's on us.
Yeah.
I really feel
Absolutely.
like if we show up like we do against Westwood, I don't know what it is. I mean, it's the Bryant hype. It's the. I feel like there's a lot of animosity. I don't know if anybody will come out and say. And I'm not asking you to say it, of course, but there's a lot of we don't like them. They don't like us. If we can play like that, nobody's beating us.
No.
Like nobody's beating us. Like so we lost to Tatum. That's fine. That was short notice at Tatum on an afternoon.
We needed that after playing our district schedule. I mean, it had been a month since we played anybody really, really good.
Yeah.
And so we needed those 2 games to go into the playoffs.
Yeah. I thought it was a great game. Long drive.
Yeah.
But man,
it was worth it.
But the drive back wasn't bad. Like me and Ken and DeLeo were like, we got back quick.
Yeah.
We didn't get over there quick.
I heard it was a little rough for you.
Man, it was. I didn't have the bubbles yet. That was just like I was just feeling bad that day. But and I wasn't even on the refs like that. I was over there just like because there was a couple calls that almost fell over the rail one time. I'm glad they didn't get caught on film, but. Man, yeah, that was a good game to play, and I think it's set up well for. And I'm not big on this team beat that team by this, but I mean Tatum handled Hitchcock pretty good.
Yeah,
and I tried to get that film, and I want to watch it. I just wanted to watch it for me, like this, But they handled them pretty well, and then we went over there, and like Tatum don't want to play us again.
No.
Not on no neutral site.
No. That's what he told me right after the game. He said, hey, he said, y'all are damn good. He said, I'm just glad we didn't go over to the dungeon because y'all would have beat us by 20.
I have that confidence in anybody. Like, you come to the dungeon, and it's getting back to how it should be. Like even the Buffaloes and the I'm not going to disrespect anybody, but there's a good crowd every game. There's a good crowd. Now I wish we could get that student section like Palmer's.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about the schedule this year, most of our big games were on Tuesday nights this year, and we still had great crowds. Like you could see a difference last year on the Tuesday and Friday nights. Yeah. But it also helped when our big games were on Fridays last year. But if you got a great crowd on Tuesday night, everybody's buying it.
Yeah, it's getting there.
I think even this Tuesday, Yeah, it's in Huntsville. It's a little bit of a drive, but I mean, I have a feeling you're going to see a really, really good crowd.
There's going to be a lot of people there. Oh,
And
they might shut the door, and we might sell it out.
No, yeah, we got a good chance to. I mean, it's one of those gyms. It's not small, but it's not too big.
Right.
You know, like we can. Like I want somewhere like that where we got that atmosphere.
Yeah, and I think it'll. And just watching the film when they played, or watching the Crockett game when Hitchcock played Crockett, unless Hitchcock was on the opposite side behind, with the camera, they didn't have many people there.
Well, that's a weird gym because, and I don't know if they've added a few seats, but there's only seating on one side of that Conroe gym. And
That they played Crockett in?
Yeah.
There wasn't many people there at all then.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, I know their girls were still playing, so I mean, their crowd was
Well,
probably,
yeah, it probably split
but
then.
even then, I'd assume you still get
But yeah,
quite a bit.
in fact, the first playoff game I ever coached at Shreno as a head coach, we played in Conroe, and the benches were on the back wall, and everybody's on one side.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
We played in Huntsville my sophomore year. And it's like I said, it's a nice sized gym, but it's not overly big.
Yeah.
So, and I'd seen a photo where I guess they've added bleachers to the lower level. I don't know if that'll be accessible to us. I don't know if they want us on the floor like that, but
probably not.
you know, it's going to be. We're going to have a really good crowd there. I'd be disappointed if we didn't. I see. Mahia's back when you start seeing all the old head alumni players, state champs, and I know those guys. A lot of those guys stay off, and they're busy and all that. But when you're starting to get those guys in the gym, that means that it's going well. It's going well.
For sure.
well, that and just every round that you go, you start drawing in a few more people that their team may have lost. Hey, hey, Mexia and Hitchcock are playing. That's a close game. Let's go. So you'll get a lot of that too.
Yeah.
I mean, with it, Huntsville being on that interstate, I mean, I'm sure. Fairfield. No, let's just drive down to Huntsville tonight.
That was my biggest thing when we were like, where are we going to play? I was like, please no, like College Station areas or let's stay on the internet. Let's stay on the interstate, man.
Yeah,
it's a smoother drive. So no, it's is it a shorter drive for us?
Yeah,
I know they'll have to battle Houston traffic too, which they'll probably leave early. So I mean, but yeah, that's always been the thing. I know it's not at Sam Houston, but it was always hey, let's get to Huntsville.
Yeah,
let's get to Huntsville, and it's a regional semifinal in Huntsville.
Yeah.
So hey, and it goes when we go to Huntsville to the regional semifinal. This is how it goes: we lose the regional semifinal, or we go to state.
Yeah,
there's no in between. We've never lost the regional final.
Yeah, we don't lose regional finals.
So, and that's boys and girls. So, hey, it's 50-50 shot here, and I like our chances Tuesday night. So
I do too.
It's we got the right guys leading it. The kids are bought in. Like I think it's like I said, man. I've said it over and over. I can't say it enough. It just feels like it's our year this year. And we got over that hump, the Palmer hump. Now, man, it's Hitchcock. But to be the man, you got to beat the man.
That's right.
I mean, I liked how I think y'all had the boys up.
They went to shoot around yesterday.
Yeah. I thought that was big, just to say, hey, we beat Palmer. That's over with, done. We're moving on.
I told him at the little dribbler gym. I told Kel and I told B. I said, hey, we celebrated last night. What did Kobe say when they were up 2-0 against the Magic? Job's not done. Job's not finished. Like I told Tree, I said, go in the gym, and I think I told B this. I said, go in the gym, look up at them banners, and then look at that open spot and picture your banner right there. It ain't but a few in there. Like, have that mindset. Like, we're going to put our name right here.
That, and I feel like it'd be nice to make a few updates to the gym. That means we could get brand new wall padding.
Yeah.
The next year put on there.
Like,
2025 state champs.
Get the new logo on there.
That too.
Redo the floor. Get the parquet floor going. I don't know if a state championship would do that.
I mean, the running cat on the middle of the floor would look really nice.
Man, I wish we could alter this into bringing like that hand to a dribble with the ball. If we could alter that somehow, that'd be really nice. That'd be because it's already running.
Sounds like we got a job for you, Landon.
Yeah, figure that out, Lando. You're the
probably figure that out.
Yeah. That'd be a sick logo. So. But yeah, man, I'm excited about Tuesday. Like it's,
Can't get here fast enough. I mean, I felt like, Coach Marmon came in my room Friday. I just said, man, this day's dragging.
it did. Friday
I just felt
long.
like, and then even sitting there with Lay on the stands, like time's just ticking down to tip off, and like it's the longest 30 minutes I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure it'll be like that too. They just can't get like tomorrow go by quick.
Yeah.
We get to Tuesday, go by slow.
Them game days like that, I just want to call in. Like, I don't even want to be.
That's the only thing I'm
Makes it
thinking
even
about.
slower though.
Yeah, no, I mean, I watch movies all day. Like I find stuff to do, like sleep.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
and like I'm not coaching it or playing or anything, but
yeah.
like I'm ready to, ready to be at that game.
I'm telling you, that Friday would take forever, but it's well worth it. Well worth the wait.
Yep. I mean, definitely felt really good to get past Palmer. Like I said, I'm ready for Tuesday. I know you are. Wes is. Just not looking ahead, but there is other games going around. The one we'll keep our eye on is number 23 on Alaska and Franklin. They play at Madisonville on Tuesday night, 7:30. So they're tipping off the same time we are. So we get, barring we win, we get the winner of that game. Like we know what Franklin is. We're familiar with them in our district last year and the year before last. On Alaska is just an up and coming team. I know historically they haven't been very good. This year, I think they're having their best season in school history, probably.
Yeah.
You don't really want you to pick a winner, but do you have an idea?
Well, no, I think it'll be a pretty good game. I would think Franklin kids have a little more experience in playing a little bit deeper into the playoffs, whether it be football or basketball. They've just been in these situations before. They're stronger kids. Onalaska is a straight basketball school, so they're really skilled and they shoot. That's one of the reasons they shoot it so well, because they're in the gym all year long. But I think when you live and die by the threes, a lot of times it gets you at the worst possible moment. So, I think Franklin can handle their press. I think Franklin can get to where they need to be on the offensive end. So I think it's going to be a close game. If Onalaska shoots lights out, they win. If Franklin controls them and gets what they want, Franklin wins. But yeah, I think it could go either way.
For sure. It's going to be a dogfight, just like our game. At this point, I expect a lot of games to be really close.
Yeah.
Another game, 3A Division II, our district mate, Westwood, they take on number 1 Kuntz, Lufkin High School, 7 o'clock. That's a rematch of the regional semifinal of last year, which I think it went to, double overtime? Or was it?
I think it's single overtime.
Single overtime? Brian had
55.
55?
Yeah.
That one's going to be a really good one.
Yeah.
I think that might be the state championship game in 3A Division II.
Yeah,
I would say so. Now they'll have somebody like Paradise. They would be tough because they're just so fundamental and they defend so well and they shoot well. But there's a good chance that the winner of that wins it.
Yeah. You also have a name stay in Cole, which has been in the state tournament however many times. But I think Westwood and Kuntz are definitely the 2 top dogs in that division, but it sucks that one of them's going home in the regional final.
Yep, that's the way it is.
I'm not a big supporter of other towns, like when they're having success. I don't care. No offense to Fairfield, like when they win state, I don't care. So I think it'd be really cool if us and Westwood could win state. Like that'd be 2 teams from the same district, and the potential's there. If the Carter kid can get going like he did last game and help Bryant.
30.
Yeah, like if both them are scoring at that rate, and Bryant stays out of foul trouble, like they can beat Kuntz. Like Kuntz is beatable.
Yeah.
Now they're number 1 for a reason, but it's possible.
Tatum took him down the wire, lost by 1.
Yeah. So, and I didn't watch that game, so there's no telling what back and forths or what happened for Tatum's chances to win and all that, or did they play bad?
It was a championship game at 10 Hall tournament.
And that's a really good. That's a loaded tournament every year. So, yeah, that's going to be a good game to, like you said, you got Cole in Region 4, and I mean, don't sleep on Central Heights.
Yeah,
we've seen them, and they got a couple guys that can go, and if they get hot,
they got enough size and enough shooters, and they're going to be tough to beat.
I think they're.
In fact, Westwood played Central Heights at the Central Heights tournament and beat them 70-66 earlier this year. So I mean, it's going to be a game.
Yeah. I mean, that's both. I think it's the same though. I mean, it's split divisions, but to me, with your exceptions every now and then, it's always Region 2 and Region 3. Yeah. I mean, that's where your teams are coming. Your champs are usually coming from. So.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to Region 1 or Region 4, but every year it just seems Region 2 or Region 3 is going to produce your state champion.
Right.
I mean, just looking at, Region 1, Brownfield, they were number 5, got upset to Bushland.
Shallow Water.
Yeah, Shallow Water got upset by Presidio. Man, you can beat anybody.
It's wide open up there.
I mean, I think Region 4, Corpus Christi London is number 4 in the state, but I got Grayson Rigdon and Columbus. Is right
and
there.
when we made our picks, I didn't even think about Columbus. Like, I hurry up and sent them.
Yeah.
If I could go back, I'd have picked Columbus to come out of that region.
The thing with Columbus is they didn't play football until, they've only played 14 games.
Yeah.
They only play their district games. They don't play anything.
So it takes a while to get going.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of hitting stride right now.
And Grayson Rigdon is,
if you got a kid who can score like that, you always got a shot.
And I mean, that kid is, he's got to be one of the top 10 greatest Texas high school football athletes, or just athletes, period. Not just football, but I mean, the success he has on the hardwood and on the gridiron is
it makes it look easy.
Yeah. Like I would not getting ahead of myself, but my dream state semifinal is us in Columbus. I want that to happen. I want to see this kid on the court. I got to see him in football in person. Now I want to see him in basketball in person.
What are the odds? Probably a long shot. But there's a team down there that he is very familiar with.
West Coast, they find a way to get there.
They find a way. And it's always like when we get there, they're there as well.
Yeah.
01, they were there, beat them in the state title game. 2011, they were there. Didn't get to play them, but they were there. They were in the semifinal. I mean, they just find a way to get them. I'm just saying.
They're traditionally
they were there in
the
99 too.
Yeah, they were.
They were the semifinal. Yeah, they lost to Seminole.
They're traditionally the best 3A team in Region 4.
Yeah.
Over the years. Yeah.
But then now they would have to beat, of course, London, and that would be their third time playing. Yeah. And it's hard to beat a team 3 times. I don't know their scores of how bad London beat them, but I know they beat them twice. And then again, of course, to me, the winner of Columbus and London are coming out of there. But like you said, again, it's the playoffs. It's West Oso. So, I mean, them dudes find a way. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and then just touching real quick on Region 2, we know Tatum's there. We've seen them, played them. They played Ponder. Ponder went on to the state final last year, lost to Hitchcock. I see Tatum winning that one, and then you have Jefferson and Pottsboro. I think Jefferson's just a better team, so it's probably a rematch between Tatum and Jefferson. They played early in the year, and I think Jefferson won by 3 or 4 or something like that in overtime. So, still,
Ponder's that sneaky team, man.
They are.
Like you look at them and you're like, no way. But them dudes, they win.
Well, that's what it comes down to. They've won so much.
Yeah.
None of those kids from last year's state tournament team are back.
Yeah.
None of them. This is a completely new team, and not nearly as talented, but they believe they're good. So in turn, they win some games they maybe shouldn't have.
And it's one of those confidence. You give some guys confidence, and man. So we'll see. But only game I'm worried about is Tuesday night in Huntsville.
I am too, but like I said, I mean, it's just kind of fun to look around the bracket and all that stuff, see who's there, who's not.
Yeah,
Sweet 16.
My dream state semifinal is us in Columbus, though. I would,
What would you have on the top?
What would I have? What?
Who would you have on the top then? What's the other semi in that dream?
For us, or just who would we play at state?
Or who you got coming out of Division 1 and 2 now?
Of region, I'm not going to change my picks. I'm
Region 1, 2, my bad.
Region 1, we're all shot.
Yeah,
Our three
we'll
picks.
go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Our picks
me and Landry went shallow water, and DeLeo went brownfield.
Yeah.
So
then we all went Tatum in Region 2, all went Mexia Region 3, and all went London on Region 4.
I think Peaster's coming out of Region 1 now.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And that's Division 2.
No,
That's Division 1. Yeah, I got him. Yeah, I think it's Peaster now. I still got Tatum.
Yeah.
I'm still got us. I'm still got London. Although I would not be mad at getting that London pick wrong because they would also have got it wrong. So we're good with that. But Division 2, looking at that, is all our. I didn't even check.
So we had more disparity in Division 2. So Region 1, I had Idalou, lost in the bi-district round. DeLeo picked Slayton, you picked City View.
I'm still good.
Region 2, me and DeLeo picked Paradise, you picked Mount Pleasant Chapel Hill.
Still there.
We all went Koontz in Region 3 and all went Cole on Region 4.
Yeah, so we're good. Everybody's team except for Idalou is still rocking.
I thought they were tested the most. Thought they'd win, but the Childress, I think, is historically pretty good in basketball. So we kind of overlooked how good they were, and they're still playing. They'll play City View.
So at the state tournament, does it go 3A D2 then 3A D1? So the D2 game would be at 10 or 11?
I haven't looked, but we would be at 1.
I know we play at 1 yet. I've already got my schedule set for if we make it. So
All I know is, hey, we'll not have school that day.
Yeah.
If we're playing.
I'm not going to school. I'm not going to work for Thursday either.
And I'm leaving Thursday.
Yeah. I've debated, and like I said, I knock on wood when I say this, not to jank it. Would I stay if we won state? Would I stay in San Antonio and party on the Riverwalk, or would I come home and party? Because there's going to be some partying going on.
I know I won't because we'll have boys regional powerlifting meet the day after. So I'm leaving right after and getting up at 5 a.m. the next morning. So, but I'll feel really good though.
Me and Keithan had a bet that if we won state, I would jump in the river. Well, I don't want to go to jail. So the bet now is if we win state, I will shave my head bald like Marmon, and I will go straight mustache. No facial hair. So,
in fact,
I'm hoping that happens.
I think that I heard Simp would do the same thing.
Because Keithan sent it. Of course, you got to send it in the group chat. So we're in the barbershop when we made this deal, and Keithan's like, "I'm sick in the group chat right now," and Simp was like, he said it. So.
That'd be a little disturbing though.
I can't. Yeah,
I mean, I've seen you without facial hair.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been a long time ago.
Yeah, it has been a while.
But I've never seen Simp without that beard. That'd be a little bit.
I think he shaved it a few years ago and. He don't have no chin.
Oh man! Oh man!
So hopefully he sees this. Yeah, and I'm ready.
It feels like it did in the early '90s. I mean, the late '90s, early 2000s. It feels like it did with DJ and them. It feels like that girls' run. Like it really. Like we're right there. We're 3 games. And I know we're 1 game at a time, but it's. My confidence grows with every win, and like I said, the only game I've been worried about in the playoffs is Palmer, and we beat them. Mm-hmm. So, man, congrats to you guys. Y'all are doing a hell of a job. It's crazy, man. You came my senior year, you coached me, and now you're coaching my kid. Same with Ken and all that, and it's a whirlwind, man. It's crazy.
Never would have imagined that.
I came and watched you at Maypearl. I was like, man, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
If you could coach him, and at the time, we had no idea that I'd be moving Keithan back to Mexia. And honestly, man, just thinking about it, I'm really glad that he's back. He's around his people and all that, and he's really enjoying the ride. But, we talked about it'd be cool if you got to coach him. And, at that time, but we had no idea because you were still at Maypearl. And y'all were having, and the coaching you did at Maypearl, those teams shouldn't have been as good as they were. And you elevated them. I honestly think you coached them harder than you do Mexia. Mexia, you kind of, you got some guys, that they're a little bit better at basketball.
I'll tell you the difference. I had to coach hard last year. Yeah. Now I got now we're another year in. Yeah. Now we got Davis. Now we got Sim.
Experience in the program.
And when you got people you trust and you can give them jobs and they're going to do what needs to be done. Yeah. Then I don't have to do everything.
Without I'm not trying to sound disrespectful, but do you think the culture we had when I was in school and before me and after me, those groups, do you think that was here before you got here, or is that something you kind of had to bring back that you knew what Mexia is supposed to be? I know we had that state aspiration the year before you came, but I think it's elevated these last 2 years to me.
Yeah, well, I do. I think that it had been lost a little bit. Yeah. Because when I went and watched that team, 3 years ago, or with Landon when he was a senior, they didn't play the same way. Mm-hmm. They played a whole different style. They played slow on offense. Everything was isolation ball. And there was some years, I was gone. I didn't get to see some of those other, teams, but I just, that was not we had low scoring games. Palmer 148-40, but that was 39-38 in when they played in the arena, and it just wasn't the way I envisioned Mexia. That's not the way I remembered Mexia. Right. And that's what I always felt like it's, you have the kids to play a certain style. Mm-hmm. And when Mexia's been great, they've played that style.
It goes back to Little Dribblers. That's how Mexia's always, and we've had some coaches come in that, like you say, they slow it down. And we've never, we've always ran. We just get the rebound and go.
I think when Mexia's really, really good, they do two things. They defend like crazy in the half court, and they run on offense. Yeah. And that just makes sense because 3-on-2, 2-on-1, 4-on-3. That's easier than playing 5-on-5 ball. Mm-hmm. Let's make it easy, and we can outrun it, buddy.
Gotcha.
It just, but yeah, that was one of my main things was just kind of get back to the way it was.
Because when I went and watched y'all play in Maypearl, in that, I think y'all played King. Y'all played. Your style at Maypearl was our style when I was in school. Yeah. And so that's why I was wondering, did you feel that it had kind of faded a little bit, but because I really thought that Landon team, and Landon was a dude, that dude could play some basketball, and he had some pieces around him that I thought, and I didn't see many games that year. I was working out of town at that time, but when I did, I didn't feel like we got up and down the floor like we should. And I've talked to a few people that agree, and I'm not going to name names, but that's what I was just wondering, man. Because it feels like we're getting back to that running. We're going to get up and down the floor and go.
Well, and, to me, as a coach too, I made a decision a long time ago. I want to play basketball that's fun. Yeah. Fun basketball to me is not grinded out in the half court. Yeah, it's not meant to be that way.
Honky ball.
Yeah, it's not meant to be that way. We play 94 feet. Yeah. Let's play that whole court.
Yeah, watching that Pollock Central non-Alaska game yesterday online, I don't know how people sit there and watch it. No disrespect to them. That's their style. They're good at it. Just sitting there in the half court, though, it's not appealing to me.
And you said that you saw, we played pretty fast and we played similar. And the thing is, if you want to do it, you can do it, because I didn't have near the athletes in Maypearl that I have here. But because we learned to play it the right way, we could still play fast and we could push it up and down. So, I don't feel like I don't care who I coach. I feel like we can play that style. Like we can get the kids to learn how to do it and be solid at it and fundamental at it. And to me, it's fun for the coaches. It's fun for the kids. It's fun for the crowd.
It brings a crowd, like a fun, exciting brand of basketball. But that's like you just said. You hit the nail on the head. So many times I hear people that kids can't do this. Kids can do whatever the hell you teach them to do.
Yeah.
They're sponges. They if you have the ability to reach them and teach them, they'll do whatever you ask them to do.
Yeah.
So it really starts with you. Not saying you personally, but it starts with the coaches. A kid can do whatever you want them to do, and that goes to show you, like the Maypearl team. That team was better. They outkicked their coverage. I'll say, like them dudes, because y'all went in there, and this is what we're gonna do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We're gonna do it. And I think you've seen, like last year, you implemented some of that. Of course, we had different type of players that couldn't necessarily do what we can do this year. But this year, really seeing it, like we got these guys. We don't have the 6'7" and stuff like that. We got the 6'3" that are going to rebound, but they can push the ball, and we're doing it. Like B did it a lot, especially in the second half. He got a rebound and he was going. Everybody else, get up the court and let's go. And it's an exciting brand of basketball. It's fun to watch. I wish we had some of those. I wish we were all about 6'3" and like KB were throwing oops all over the place like them 99 and 2000, 2001 teams. But no, man, it's exciting. I'm glad it's getting back to that. It's fun to watch, and it's especially kids that I've coached and or watched since they were little, and mine being a part of it. It's really fun. It's fun and exciting times. And then, like I said, it's getting back to that feeling like it's state. Like there's no. In the past, we've had that. I don't know, man. We're good, but I don't know. We're getting back to that. It's state, or we're going to state. Like that's the expectation, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. So, man, shout out to you for that. Getting it back to that, man. That's big.
Why that I mean it's something small, but that's why when we got here, we put 220 on everything.
Somebody told me that was the area code to San Antonio.
West on the area code.
And I was like, okay, like, hey, I'm not one to question things. Like, hey, that's what you say it is. That's what it is. And I was like, and somebody asked about it, and I was like, I think it's the area code. And then I asked, or somebody in our group today, they said it, or I asked, I said, is that the area code? And they're like, no, because I know it had a 2 in it. And a 0. I got the 1 and the 2 mixed up, and then it was like, "Hey, that's the miles to it." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
If you go and you Google or put a Google map and you go Mexia, Texas, to the Alamo Dome.
To the Alamo Dome.
220 miles.
I hope we make every 220 of it, plus the drive through the parking lot and all that.
But that's
is that toll road or not toll road?
No, that's
me. A lot of people complain, including myself, complain about state being in San Antonio now. Used to go to the Drum in Austin. I think I'd like to see it in Fort Worth at Dickies Arena. We're back in Austin. But I'll gladly drive every mile of that 220.
I'll complain about
I got to be in El Paso, but I'll go drive there for the state championship game.
I think it's from talking to guys that's been there, and I'm sure you've been down there some, or go every year, but they just said it just doesn't have a basketball feel.
It's too big.
I'm going to tell you what, buddy. If we're down there in it, it's going to feel like basketball that day. Now, having said that, I think Dickies Arena would be perfect. Like where it's at in Fort Worth. Fort Worth has a lot of places you could go and sightsee and do things. The location of Dickies Arenas, they said Baylor. I think Baylor's, I've looked up numbers in the past, the capacity at games. I think like the smaller schools maybe, but they get large crowds in there. And like Baylor doesn't hold as.
You need to have a venue that holds about 14,000.
Let's see what Baylor's new one holds.
Then I think locker room availability as well. Like we don't have enough locker rooms.
Right.
Can't host.
So, because I would love to drive over to Waco. I'd go over there and watch every game if it was in Waco. But like I said, I don't think their new arena holds enough. But I think Dickies would be perfect. Now, I don't know how that gets changed or brought up, but
it's a UIL deal, and they have a contract with the Alamo Dome. I'm not sure how long or when it runs out, but it will run out at some point, and they'll renegotiate either with them or look at moving it somewhere.
I got you. But no, that's. Like I said, we complain about it, and I've heard coaches talk about it, and I've asked several coaches. But tell you what, we go, but we'll. I don't care.
Yeah, it's
long as the Frito pie's good.
I'm not
soda's
cold. Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, we're good. Hey, they pumped my numbers up a little bit last show.
I figured they did.
Yeah, it's. I've been known to have me a few Dr. Peppers, but not as many as they're saying. So,
well, we'll just agree to disagree. But man, Coach Marvin, appreciate you stopping by, man. Hope we have you next week. If you're here next week, that means it's really good. And
it's going good.
It's going really good.
Be a lot of high fiving going on.
Yeah.
And
then again after that, I'll tell you what, if we bring him in for that third show, the fourth show, that means we won state. I'm drinking beer live on air. I'm going to celebrate for a while, buddy. I'm going to be wearing my son's state championship
The jersey they wore. The
No,
jersey
I
they
ain't
wore
gonna
in the
fit.
game. Go fit.
I
Go
ain't
squeeze into that.
that thing will be sitting right here. But he can barely fit it.
yeah.
So, no, I'll be wearing that medal, but not to get ahead of ourselves. It's fun to talk about, but we got to handle business Tuesday first, and I think we will.
Yeah, man, excited.
Very.
Ready. I know tomorrow's gonna go fast. Tuesday's gonna drag, but man, good luck to y'all. Again, hope you're back next weekend talking with us.
I hope so too.
Man, anything else?
It's an exciting time to be a Black Hat, man. It's when it's going good. It's exciting times, man. Like
I know Tuesday night, man, you got work the next day. Some of you probably saw Wes's
call into
Facebook
that
post.
job. It's okay. You got time to
You're
use
tired
it.
the next morning. It's telling you, it's well worth it. Make sure you're there Tuesday night. Tip off's at 7:30. Really don't know what time doors open. I'm assuming
Probably about 7.
about 7.
It's generally 30 minutes ahead of time.
So make sure you're there. Pack out the gym. Whether you live in Mexia, if you're from Mexia, lives in Dallas or Houston, man, just drive down the interstate. Be there. Like nowhere else to be Tuesday night than Huntsville, Texas. Man, that's it for the Water Tower Podcast. This is episode 5. Again, make sure you're following us and subscribing on YouTube, following us and liking posts on Facebook. That way, you're able to see our posts. I mean, I know that Facebook algorithm is crazy, so make sure you're doing those things. Appreciate everybody supporting us as we get this thing rolling. Again, your host Landry,
Wes Davis.
Travis Marmon.
and this is the Water Tower Podcast.
Getting out of here.